Hello and welcome. Today we are looking at news and politics from around the world for Wednesday, 18th of September, 2024. So, yeah. Now, let's go ahead and jump straight into this. This is from The Lever. Harris's turn to the dark money side. Yeah, unfortunately, this is something that's an ugly side of politics. I don't think it should be influencing either side. Despite the history of decrying dark money, Kamala Harris is now reaping the rewards of big secret political donations. I think that's wrong. But we know it's a big part of the right wing as well. They're both guilty, in my fucking opinion. And they need to do better. As a junior Democratic senator in 2019, Harris took direct aim at dark money, co-sponsoring election reforms that would have revealed the identities of megadonors behind the secretive efforts to sway elections. It does not represent justice in America when dark money is fueling elections and when the few have the greatest amount of wealth behind a veil without even presenting themselves or their names manipulate the fuel the election process, she said in a speech at the time. We've got to take that money out of politics. Absolutely. But now, as her presidential campaign benefits from millions in contributions from secret donors, including a whopping $20 million donation from Democrats' main dark money group a week after she became the party's presumed nominee. What is Harris saying about untraceable political spending? So far for this election cycle, not much. During last week's presidential debate, Harris and former President Trump discussed hot button topics including the overturning of Roe v. Wade and the war in Ukraine, but said nothing about the concealed political donations that have aided both presidential campaigns. Behind the scenes, the political committees supporting Democratic candidates have supported more than $100 million in dark money contributions this election season, while committees supporting Republicans have reported similar amounts, according to Open Secrets, which tracks campaign finance and lobbying data. Dark money groups are on track to contribute more money in this election than ever before. So, yeah. It's disgusting. It's something that should not happen. We need to know whose money is flowing in. Honestly, there should be only public funding of elections, not big money funding. And until we can hit that point, we're always going to be left in the lurch because the rich will always be seen as having more free speech because they have more money, because apparently money and donations equates to free speech. Anyway, this is from ProPublica. Afraid to seek care amid Georgia's abortion ban, she stayed at home and died. Candy Miller's family said she didn't visit a doctor due to the current legislation on pregnancies and abortions. Maternal health experts deemed her death preventable and blamed Georgia's abortion ban. Yep, it's the states that are doing hard abortion bans, they're costing people their lives, and they don't give a shit. Candy Miller's health was so fragile, doctors warned having another baby could kill her. They said it was going to be more painful and her body may not be able to withstand it. Her sister, Tatia Tomlin Randall, told ProPublica. But when the mother of three realized she had unintentionally gotten pregnant in the fall of 2022, Georgia's new abortion ban gave her no choice. Although it made exceptions for acute life-threatening emergencies, it didn't account for chronic conditions, even those known to present lethal risks later in pregnancy. Yeah, this should have never happened, and I put it squarely on the shoulders of the pro-forced birth groups. Because they're not pro-life. They don't give a shit about you after you're born. No. It's pro-forced birth. There is no pro-fucking-life. They don't give a goddamn about you afterwards. Don't give me this pro-life bullshit. This is from inequality.org. Caring for a child shouldn't cause financial ruin. My family is still financially recovering from the birth of my daughter 14 years ago. It doesn't need to be this way. Abso-fucking-lutely. Again, this should be part of, maternity. If a mother's going to have a child, she should be getting help. She should be getting support. She shouldn't be forced into having the child and then said, screw you, now you got to pay for the bill. And we ain't going to help you one fucking bit. And that's what happens in America. That's where we are. We're like a third world nation when it comes to child care. It's disgusting. This is from Haaretz. Israel-Hamas war. You mean the Gaza genocide. It's not a war. Day 348. After more Lebanon blast, U.S. says intense diplomacy ongoing to avert Israel-Hezbollah war. You know what you could do is you could cut off the money and weapons and say, look, we're tired of this shit. Enough is enough is enough. You will comply, or you'll be left to defend yourself with what you have, you shits, because we will not protect you anymore. But no, there's so many that will suckle on the teat of groups like AIPAC, that demon, that monster, that evil fucking group that pays to protect Israel no fucking matter what, because they don't give a shit about life. It's just, you better be pro-Israel. And it's like, fuck you, AIPAC. Fuck you. "14 killed, over 450 wounded in new Hezbollah targeted radio device explosions," Lebanon says. IDF sends additional forces north, recruits reserve personnel. Israel police say Hezbollah tried to assassinate ex-IDF defense chief Ya'alon in 2023. UN votes approves non-binding Palestinian proposal condemning Israel's presence in the West Bank and Gaza. IDF says shot down drone launched from Iraq toward the north. Yeah, if the fucking U.S. would stop coddling and sucking at the teat of Israel and its big money donors, the world's ready to step in and say enough is fucking enough. But it's only because the U.S. is this Goliath and is ready to protect this little shit that it feels emboldened. And what you need to do is reach down and smack the fuck out of it. Say, look, enough is enough. You will fucking stand up straight and act right. Because, yeah, what they've been doing, unacceptable. That was from Haaretz. Now, let's look at a chart here. Communism versus fascism. Which would Britons pick? They ask different groups of Britons if you had to pick between communism and fascism, which would you choose? Of course, communism is an ideology on the left end and fascism on the right end. Although the right wing would have you believe, no, they're the same thing. No, they are abso-fucking-lutely not. But 2024 Green voters, yeah, they'd rather go communist with a third of them being like, I don't know, and then 3% maybe being like, I'd go fascist. 2024 Labor voters, 58% communist, 38% don't know, 5% fascist. 2024 Lib Dem voters would be 55% communist, 39% don't know, and 6% fascist. And remaining voters, 55% communist. So yeah, if you break it down by the left-wing parties, they'd rather go communist. '18 to 24-year-olds, almost half, 46%, would go communist. 47, I don't know, 7% fascist. Middle class households, 45% communist, 44% I don't know, and 10% fascist. 25 to 49-year-olds, 44% communist, 47% I don't know, and 9% fascist. In the country of Wales, the Welsh, 43% would go communist, 47 I don't know, 10% fascist. Men only, 41% communist, 45 don't know, 14% fascist. Scotland, 40% communist, 43 or 53% I don't know, and 7% fascist. Now, all Britons, so those specifically in England, England itself, 39% would say communism, 51 don't know, 10 fascist. Women, 38% communism, 56% don't know, 6% fascist. Those 50 to 64-year-old, 30% communist, 38% communist, 50% don't know, 12% fascist. Working class households, 31% communist, 60% don't know, 9% fascist. 65 plus, 29% communist, 60% don't know, 11% fascist. And we've got Leave voters, 27, 56, 16. 2024 conservative voters, 25 to 59 to 17. And Reform UK voters, 21, 53 to 26%. That one is the only one where fascism outweighs communism. And of course, it's the largest number of fascists altogether. But yeah. It's interesting. When you think fascism, think Hitler and Mussolini. Those kinds of countries. Now, from Interesting Engineering, world's oldest city was not Mesopotamia, according to a 6,000-year-old sites that challenge this history. By employing magnetic techniques, researchers unveiled structures underneath the Earth's surface, discovering Triphylia megasites that span over 100 hectares. Recent archaeological discoveries are rewriting the narrative of human ancestry. Contrary to long-held beliefs that the first cities emerged in Mesopotamia or Central Asia, new evidence suggests these new ancient urban centers may have actually originated in Ukraine. In the recent publication by the Swiss News Zürcher Zedong researchers describe the astonishing remnants of what may have been the largest city in the world, discernible today only through aerial shadows and scattered pottery shards. The site in Ukraine dates back to 4000 BCE, making it the oldest urban settlement ever discovered. Yeah, for the longest time in history, it was often considered the cradles of civilization along the rivers, the Tigris and Euphrates in Mesopotamia, the Yellow River in China, the Nile in Egypt, and oh Lord, where is that fourth one? I'm having a brain fart. India, Indus River Valley. But yeah, clearly there's more than just that. I would look at other uh, river-based civilizations. As well as maybe even coastal civilizations. I mean, you've got what in Ukraine? The south edge of Ukraine, there's a sea. So I'm not really surprised. Same with Asia Minor or modern day Turkey. That's surrounded by water. What did they name that settlement? Regardless, we're seeing these older and older settlements. And I think we're actually starting to finally dig into history a bit and see that, yeah, mankind isn't this hugely new. It's been around for a bit. We were developing cities. Um, in Egypt, they talk about the Sphinx already having been there when the ancient Egyptians arrived and took over. Because they say they don't know who made it. It was already there. You have in the Americas the stone heads that were made by the Olmec people, who we know very little about. But they were the predecessors of what became known as the Aztecs and Mayas. So yeah. The great North American mound builder city of Cahokia along the Mississippi River. There is a number of ancient cities that really need to be dug into, that we need to really examine. To learn more about the ancients. Because, yeah, I see us going back a ways. But, yeah, again, interesting piece there. Some pictures to look at. The Supremes, Martha and the Vandellas, The Temptations, and Smokey Robinson and the Miracles in 1965. Some of the big names of Motown in its heyday. Had some great songs. Next image. Paratroopers of the 1st British Airborne Division give the V sign and thumbs up inside a C-47 aircraft before being airdropped over the Netherlands during Operation Market Garden in the 17th of September 1944. Remember, on my channel, I'm reading Anne Frank, and the Franks are in Amsterdam trying to hide from the Nazis. And we just ended the year 1943, so we're getting into 44. But I think this happens just after the Franks are discovered. Still, interesting moment in history to see. Yes. One side of the monument erected to race prejudice, the inscription on the Battle for the Liberty Place monument celebrating the 1874 attempted coup against Reconstruction government by the White League in New Orleans, Louisiana, in the U.S. in 1936. So, yeah, you remember, only accept a coup if it's something you think should have gone through. We see this kind of shit all the time from right-wingers. And it's like, you do know the South tried to commit treason, a coup upon the U.S. It was just, no, it was state. Hey, it was to protect slavery because that's what the money and landowners were making their money from. It was that, period, flat. There may have been other tiny things in there, but for the most part, it was slavery, dipshit, that they were trying to protect. You're a fucking idiot if you believe it's other things. And you'll see, even to today, people protect January 6th like, it was stolen! Oh my God. Why are there so many fucking idiots? Why? But just more proof. Here's a monument to idiocy. And, well, you know, on this day 70 years ago, Marilyn Monroe stood over the subway grate in 1954. Yeah, the famous putting her hands down on her dress to try to keep it from going all the way up as she stands over the subway grate. And the air blows her dress up. It's like, woo! Yep, Marilyn Monroe. One of the sex idols of yesteryear. Marilyn Monroe, Jane Mansfield, Audrey Hepburn was cute as fuck. Let's just be honest. Yeah. They have some amazing idols from that day. If you've ever played Fallout New Vegas, the two robots, it's supposed to originally be two robots, the two Securitrons that have female identities. In most of the modern games, without the cut content, you just have Jane, who is supposed to be named after Jane Russell. And then the other one was supposed to be Marilyn, named after Marilyn Monroe. But yeah. Let me just emphasize this by saying, Anyway. Let's get on to more news here. From the AP, the FBI is investigating suspicious packages sent to election officials in more than 15 states. Why am I not surprised? Ever since the Trump moron came into the consciousness as a political entity, the political division and violence have ramped. And I put it on him. So there's always been issues with it, but he's really ramped that shit up by being an idiot and a piece of shit. Also from the AP News, their severe droughts dropped water level to historic low on the Paraguay River, a regional lifeline. Yeah, Paraguay, which I think is in northern South America. Because I think Uruguay is further south. I think Paraguay is more in the north of South America. But yeah, rivers drying up. People who say climate change isn't real, I don't know what the fuck they're looking at. They're stupid as shit. You can see this shit with your own fucking eyes and say, yeah, something's happening. They warned us. It's clear that that's what's happening, but no, no, no. Let me suck at the balls of fucking stupidity and other stupid shit. From The Guardian, Ohio sheriff instructs residents to list homes with Harris Walz campaign signs. The Republican Bruce Zakowski sparks alarm after writing remarks in an anti-immigrant tirade on Facebook. Yeah, basically saying if they're a Harris Walz supporter, then they're not good. And this is, I see this shit too often from the right wing. Fuckers like this are the reason America's suffering. From the AP, election officials prepare for threats with panic buttons and bulletproof glass. Again, a result of the Trump bullshittery. You can lay this all at the feet at Trump. Now, is the entirety of it? No. It's been building, but he completely sliced it open. Also from the AP, governor bans use of conversion therapy on LGBTQ plus minors in Kentucky. Thank you, Governor Beshear. Because this conversion therapy bullshit, it's akin to torture. It really is. From Reuters, Hezbollah devices explode again in Lebanon, raising fears of wider Israel conflict. I've already said how much the U.S. needs to kick Israel in the fucking face and tell them to stand up straight and act right, but, you know, just further accentuate it here. From CBS News, Sean Diddy Combs denied bail again in federal sex trafficking case in New York. Look, you either own up to what you did or shut up. Because committing heinous acts will always come out sooner or later. 10, 20, 30, 70, 80, 90, 100 years down the road. Look at freaking the attacks on Black Wall Street in Oklahoma. The Tulsa race riots. This shit is coming to the forefront. Yeah, here's this Ohio sheriff idiot told the public to write down the address of Harris Wall supporters. Says those individuals with liberal policies have to accept responsibility for their actions. You have to accept responsibility for your actions, sir. You're the one fueling hate. Bernie Sanders preparing resolutions to block $20 billion in U.S. arms sales to Israel. Absolutely. Absolutely. Will it get the support it needs? Highly fucking doubt it. But it's what needs to be done. Make a fucking stand. And of course, one of the first guys on the right side of history, Bernie. Let's see. 20 more dead, 450 injured as new round of explosions rocks Lebanon, according to health officials. So yeah. So Israel uses terror attacks, but they're defending themselves. Here's your defense, Israel. You can fuck yourselves. This is from Sky News. Raw anger and real fear on the streets of Lebanon after deadly pager and radio blasts. Yep. Rarely have the funerals of 4 people killed in pager explosions begun. Sky News in Beirut heard the sound of explosions a short distance away, followed by shouts and screams. Yeah, the IDF, Netanyahu, the Likud, I fuck you, I fuck you, I fuck you. Every last one of you. Now, let's go ahead and look at some videos. Since it's been the story here, Israel again targeting random phones in Lebanon, resulting in iPhones blowing up in stores as well as schools, apartments, and more. I think that's supposed to be schools. It says scooters, but I think it's supposed to be schools. Another explosion. You see the smoke pouring out? There's fire. Smoke pouring out. Yeah. Fuck Netanyahu, fuck the Likud party, and fuck the Israel Death Forces. Seriously. Fuck them. Congressman makes racist attack on Muslim American woman. Yeah, this is John Kennedy being the shit stain of a human being he is.
One more time, you support Hamas, don't you? You
Sir.
support UNRWA and Hamas, don't you?
Sir,
Please.
I think it's exceptionally disappointing that you're looking at an Arab American witness before you and saying you support Hamas.
You know what's disappointing to me?
I do not
You
support
can't
Hamas.
Bring yourself
I do
to
not
say
support Hamas
You don't
or
support UNRWA. You don't support Hamas. You don't.
I was very
support
clear in my support for
Hezbollah,
UNRWA.
and you don't
I
support
oppose-
Iran. You should hide your head in a bag.
You should wipe your ass with your AIPAC money, you piece of shit.
Your time has expired. Please.
Yeah, Kennedy needs expulsed from fucking Congress. There's no excuse for his shit. There's no fucking excuse. Apartheid Israeli police raid a Palestinian family's home and demand the father hand over a child from the neighborhood. Da, 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 da. You go there. I'll leave it at pauses for a minute so you can read it. I ain't reading it. Just watching the video. I'm Fuck Netanyahu, fuck the Likud party, and fuck the Israeli death forces. Okay, explosions in Beirut and across Lebanon. Possible Israeli terror attacks targeting Hezbollah's walkie-talkies in highly populated areas. Endangering civilians. Of course! 'Cause why not? They don't give a shit about human life. They won't even rescue their own prisoner, their people that were taken prisoners. So yeah, fuck them.
يا جماعة الخير بطارية الليثيوم فجرت بقلب الربيد.
I mean, Israel needs severely punished for this shit. But no one in America's got the goddamn balls. Fuck AIPAC. You need to go the fuck away, AIPAC. You're evil. You're destructive. You cause nothing but problems in the world. Fuck you, fuckers. I mean, seriously, you're not good for humanity.
كنا نايمين وطف علينا البحر وملأنا كنا مية.
Yeah, this is children living in makeshift homes on the shores of Gaza.
قدمنا شوية عشان ما نغرقش بزيادة. أنا قاعدة بفحر جارة عشان نحط الخشبة ونضبط الخير.
Pitching tents on the beach as their last attempt at safety from the war, 8-year-old Ghazal and other families like hers are fighting against high tides, wind, and the oncoming cold of winter in their makeshift homes. These are just some of the families displaced to the shore west of the city of Khan Yunis, a target of many Israeli attacks. Almost the entire population of Gaza has been forced to flee their homes in the war.
كيف ما كان يكون ما نرجع دارنا ولا نتبهدل زي البهدلة هذه. لما رشت المية علينا كنت مش قادرة أسوي إشي من الشتاء يولينا كلنا ونغرق.
Some families are digging sand walls to protect themselves from the rising tides.
احنا خاشين على فصل شتاء، اتقوا ربنا فينا. احنا مش عشاننا، احنا بنتحمل السقعة وبنتحمل الموت كمان. مستعدين، بس الأطفال اللي زي هيك حرام.
The approaching winter is just one of the many daily struggles that these families must now go through, as 9-year-old Yasmin says.
أنا بصراحة يعني قوينا وعوينا حالنا إنه إحنا في حرب قوية. يعني لازم بدنا نعيش في طفولتنا زي باقي الناس. كلنا صرنا هيكل عظمية يعني بنبين وبنحمل وبنتعب مش زي قبل. كنا عايشين منيح وبنلعب وبنفرح بس اليوم ما ينفعش نعيش زي ما كنا إحنا. الحرب مستمرة دمرتنا.
8 and 9-year-old. These are children. These are babies. They shouldn't have to go through this kind of shit. But Israel, cause it's such an evil fuck, has been committing genocide and murdering them, making it into almost a game. They don't give a goddamn about their lives. Fuck Netanyahu, fuck the Likud, and fuck the Israeli death forces. Final video. Ex-Texas police officer indicted months after video shows beating at the child's birthday party.
Families say it's a first victory. The former Galveston police officer accused of beating multiple children at teens' pool party has been indicted and now faces multiple felonies and even misdemeanors.
Liliana Pearson live outside the Galveston DA's office this afternoon. Liliana, how did the charges ultimately come about?
Well, this has been months in the making. We know that the DA's office has been investigating, and now a grand jury has handed down 2 indictments against the former Galveston police officer, Jared Rivas. He now faces 3 felonies and 5 misdemeanors. From the start, families who say they were attacked by Jared Rivas have wanted him to face repercussions.
I think everything he did was wrong, and he used excessive force.
I feel like if he had his duty weapon on him at that time, our children would have been seriously injured. I think that somebody would have lost their life.
Today, families learned what those repercussions could be and are breathing a sigh of relief. A grand jury handed down an indictment. Rivas now faces a third-degree felony for injury to a child, which carries 2 to 10 years in prison. A state felony for unlawfully restraining a child, which could get him up to 2 years in state jail. 1 Class A misdemeanor for official oppression, punishable by up to 1 year in county jail, and 4 Class A misdemeanors for assault and bodily injury, also punishable up to 1 year in county jail. As a reminder, these are the videos that sparked the investigation. Rivas is accused of acting as a security guard for the Island Bay Resort apartment complex. He came down to tell a group of teens having a birthday party that they needed to leave. But families say that he was hostile from the start and suddenly became aggressive, hitting children, mothers, and people who weren't even attending the children's birthday party.
Grab him by his head and start pounding on his head. He was just hitting people.
The families today telling ABC 13 they are glad to see this important step. Their next goal is to make sure Rivas can't be hired by another law enforcement agency in the future. The DA's office says that they are seeking the...
That's a big part. He should never, ever, ever be hired by anything like law enforcement or security ever again. Too often, these people, when they actually end up getting forced out of their jobs, they just find another one of the same kind. You need to better train our cops. They need military fucking discipline. If they want to act like they need military weapons, they need the goddamn military discipline. I am fucking serious on that shit.
Earliest available trial date. And over the last several months, I've continued to reach out to Rivas to hear from him. I reached back out again today, but I have yet to hear back. From Galveston, I'm Liliana Pearson, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Yeah. Anyway. This has been the news and politics for Wednesday, the 19th. No, hold on. 18th of September, 2024. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, later.